Good evening, my fellow Americans. Tonight is the 106th anniversary of the Federal Reserve right behind us. I, your totally fake president, am here to illuminate our totally fake monetary system, the black hole in my democracy, with a fake torch and my real friend and new economic advisor from the Alliance for Just Money, Sue Peters. Sue has told me about this really terrific bill that's going to save all of us. It's called the National Emergency Employment Defense Act. It's going to wipe out all my debt, all of your debt too. Credit card, student, medical, housing, whatever. It's gone, poof, like that. And it's going to pay for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's Green New Deal without raising any taxes. And I can't wait to see the look on her face when she sees that I'm endorsing it. So, what I need you to do is to call your Congress representatives and tell them to endorse H.R. 2990 of the 112th Congress, the National Emergency Employment Defense Act, and I will sign the bill into law as soon as it's reintroduced into Congress. You have to call Congress because they won't listen to me anymore since I got impeached. And also, because I have so much debt, I'm going to do a little quid pro quo and give the first 50 people who come out here on tax day, April 15th, 2015, a free dime bag of weed to call their Congress representative on my live stream feed because I have a lot of debt. So, and I don't want to pay my taxes either. But for now, I just want to know from my new economic advisor, Sue, I have one stupid question. What is the Federal Reserve? How was it created? Go ahead, Sue.
Okay. Well, the Federal Reserve is a central bank owned by commercial banks.
So it's not part of my government?
Well, the only part of the Federal Reserve that's somewhat part of the government is the Federal Reserve Board, which is appointed by the President with the okay of the Senate. But they don't have any money.
This is really confusing.
The money is in the banks.
That makes sense.
And the banks are private. They're all private. The 12 Federal Reserve banks are private institutions. 100% of all the shares in those 12 banks are owned by the member commercial banks, which are all private, for-profit institutions.
So the banks own the Fed, not me.
Oh, absolutely.
How did this happen?
It took a long time. It started with Alexander Hamilton.
Oh my God.
You know, in the colonies, our 13 colonies, the colonists would not allow banks, private banks. And when I found that out, I said, you're kidding me. There's banks all over New York City, all over the country. What do you mean the colonists wouldn't allow banks? Because they knew the secret of the banks, that when a bank gave a loan, that private bank just created the deposit in the borrower's account. They didn't want that. They saw what happened in England. So all 13 colonies issued paper money from their state legislature, and it circulated, and it made the colonies prosperous. You know, people had started leaving the colonies because they couldn't make a living there. But when the state legislatures started to issue the paper money from the state, there was state paper money, and it circulated, it created an economy. So people stayed and started coming. So that was one thing. But you know, when we won the Revolutionary War, right at that point, unfortunately, the new states, they began slowly to charter private banks. And these private banks created their banknotes and loaned them out at interest, all for their profit. there wasn't really a concern with, well, how much money does the new nation need, right? And it got worse from there. That was 1781, and it got worse and worse till we get to the Federal Reserve, right? This building here.
There.
Right there, the New York Fed. And the bankers, they had their private national banks, they had their private state banks. These were private banks chartered by the state government and the national government. But they wanted more. They wanted to control everything.
Just like me,
Yes.
which is why I'm here. Learning from you.
And they, as bankers do, they went behind private doors and they made decisions. And as bankers do today, they have effects on our media, on our Congress, because they were creating money when they made a loan, that interest. So
Fake money.
it's not money even, it's bank credit. That's
So
what it is.
fake money has created a fake president with fake media.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. So they, all the machinations behind the scenes in Congress, in the media, ended up with the passage of the Federal Reserve Law through Congress, which took the power in the Constitution, took the power for our government to create real money debt-free, and gave that power to private banks, and that's what the Federal Reserve System, and that's what we have today. Yeah.
And we've had it for 106 years.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
And through many crises, financial crises.
So, when is my stock market going to crash?
I don't know the future. I don't know the future, but I keep trying. I keep trying to keep going forward.
I don't have enough cells in my brain in order to learn much more from you tonight. So we're going to have to keep it short for now. But I'm going to do my homework, and we're all going to come back here on April 15th, 2020 on tax day to smoke some weed. I'm changing my views on weed just for this bill. And we're going to call Congress and get lots of phone calls and then go eat free pizza, courtesy of the Alliance for Just Money. And we're all going to get out of debt. Merry Christmas. You're welcome. Sue, any last words?
If people want to learn more, they can go to monetaryalliance.org. It's one word, Monetary Alliance. Or you could go to monetary.org. Or you could go to, in the Green Party of the U.S., the National Green Party, there is, in the Green Party, real monetary reform in their platform. And a group of Greens created a website that simply explains what this banking system is, what money is, how this happened. Very simply, it's called, one word, Greens for, F-O-R, monetaryreform.org.
What's the Green Party? I've never heard of it.
It's
Never mind. We don't have enough time. I'm too dumb. I'm too tired. It's been a long day making decisions.
I know. I understand.
And please follow at the Need Act on Twitter and Alliance Just on Twitter too. Twitter. All right. Good night, my fellow Americans. Merry Christmas.